Welcome back, everybody. So in this video, I'm going to gear this one a little bit more towards guys, and more specifically, how guys can make sure that they have a great time in Vegas. I've been going to Vegas since I was a teenager, so I've seen a lot of interactions with guys and women that didn't turn out so well. So I'm just going to cover a couple things that I've learned to kind of do over the years to make sure that I have an amazing time every single time I go to Vegas. Like I told you guys in the previous video, I'm not a huge gambler. I mainly go for the energy of Vegas. I do a lot of club crawls, pool crawls. I enjoy sitting by the pool with some drinks and socializing. So in order to make sure that I have the best time when doing those things, I definitely had to pick up on some social skills, and I'm going to share those with you guys now. All right, so the first tip, who you go to Vegas with can make a huge difference in how much fun you have while you're out there. If you go to Vegas with people that are, one, shy, or two, don't really like getting outside their comfort zone and trying new things, that can definitely drain the energy of the trip. You'll find yourself, if you're more the outgoing person, you'll find that you're tending to use some of your energy to pick that person up and kind of drag them along and kind of force them to do things that they don't want to do. And eventually it can just make the trip a little, it can make the trip a little negative. It can take away from your fun. And so it's really good to make sure that when you're planning a trip to Vegas, you have your guys that you know are going to be all about getting outside their comfort zone, socializing, trying new restaurants. I'm not saying you have to spend a bunch of money, but you don't necessarily want to go with somebody that is a penny pincher, because there's a lot of things in Vegas that just aren't cheap, and you really don't want to hear them bitching and moaning, complaining about how much a drink costs every time you guys want to go and get a drink. We know drinks are expensive. That's Vegas. But you want to make sure that you take people that have a decent budget or are willing to try some new things, maybe spend a little bit more. But yeah, it makes a huge difference who you go with. So get the guys that are willing and wanting to have a ton of fun and put them together in a group, and that's who you want to go out to Vegas with. All right, so you have your wolf pack together. You guys are heading out to Vegas. Do a little research on some of the places that you're wanting to go to while you're out there, some of the pools, some of the clubs, and kind of figure out what the dress code for those places are so that you never run into a situation where you get turned away at the door. That's just super embarrassing, and you don't want to get out to Vegas and have to go buy clothing to wear to the clubs. It's going to be a huge markup on a lot of that stuff. It's going to be much cheaper to get that stuff and have it wherever you're from and just bring it with you. At the pools, obviously, it's not as big of a deal. They're not quite as strict. You just have to have pool attire, but there are some things you can't wear to pools. So make sure to research the places you're intending to go to and know what a good dress code for each one of those places is, and have that stuff with you before you even get to Vegas. I've made that mistake a couple times early on where I'm like, I had something I thought I wanted to wear but didn't really try it on, and I get out to Vegas and I'm like, I don't like any of the stuff I have, so then I have to go somewhere and buy something. And there are some places where you can find some deals. There's a couple malls where you can go to, but it's just better to have that stuff with you, and you don't have to even worry about it. Make sure as a guy you smell good at all times, no matter where you're going in Vegas. Especially if you're going in summertime. I know this really should go without saying, but it gets hot out there and you don't want to be walking around stinking, especially after you got out of the pool. Your deodorant kind of ran off. So make sure you have a top-notch cologne to wear. Not too much of it. Don't drown yourself in it. Mist, walk through it. But just a big pro tip, make sure that you always smell good no matter where you're at. It makes a huge difference with women. I promise. All right, so this tip right here is probably the biggest tip that I can offer to a guy, especially in Vegas. It applies anywhere you go, any social setting, but especially in Vegas where it's all about high energy and fun. You need to be the party. And what I mean by this is when you're anywhere, in the club, at a pool, you need to be having fun just by yourself without anybody around you. Be the life of the party, self-entertain yourself. Really amuse yourself and come up with creative ways to uplift the energy of whatever setting you're in. Women will notice that. Guys will notice that. I've had so many times when I'm at a pool just hanging out, going around socializing, talking to people, entertaining myself, whether it's, playing volleyball in the pool or whatever. just having a good time, dancing by myself, or me and my guys were out there. We just, start dancing out of the blue when everybody else is kind of chilling, trying to look cute. Get out there and be the party. I guarantee you, everybody will gravitate to that and they'll feed off of that energy. And that will go a long way in you making connections with people. I've had so many Vegas trips that were, going great. And then they just, they took off because we socialized. We were the life of the party. People were like, hey, what are you doing after you leave the pool? You should come here. You should do that. So be the life of the party. Don't be an energy leech. Don't, start interrogating women when you're trying to talk to them and you kind of drain the fun out of what's going on. Add to their energy. Just amuse yourself and they'll come to you. And this next point feeds into the previous one. Talk to everybody. Be sociable. Even if you're an introvert, up the intensity level a little bit on the extroverted side. In Vegas, you want to be very sociable. You never know who you're going to have a conversation with and what kind of connection that person can help you to make in Vegas, whether it be getting on certain lists, getting a table, whatever. I've had a lot of trips in Vegas where just by socializing, it took the trip from an 8 to a 10 and became an epic trip. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, so I can't give you details on a lot of that stuff, but man, I've had some good trips. Pre-married days, obviously. I still have a good time with the wife. We love it out there. But if you're a single guy going to Vegas, man, talk to everybody. Be very sociable. It will go a long way. All right, so this next tip, as a guy that's into fitness, I've seen a lot of guys that do this. I'm very aware of this, and I'm very aware of not doing this myself. And again, this is another tip that's just a general social thing you should be aware of and make sure you're not doing. If you are a fit guy, do not rely on your physique to help you pull women or, talk to anybody or anything like that. I see it all the time. The guys are by the pool, they're like chiseled, laying on their chair, oiled up and everything, and just, isolating themselves, not being sociable, not going out talking to everybody, just waiting on women to flock to them because they are so fit. That can be a huge turnoff to women. Yes, they may, look at you and, say, damn, he's in really good shape, nice body. But then you'll be lacking in other areas because you'll seem, maybe a little conceited because you're not actually being approachable and social. So even if you're in tip-top shape, go out there and be the life of the party. It definitely gives you an advantage if you're in great shape. I've had, won't talk about it, but it gives you a huge advantage. If you're in great shape and you're friendly and you are the energy in whatever setting that you're at, man, sky's the limit for the time you're gonna have. And it goes the opposite way too. If you're not in great shape, go out there and be sociable. Women will overlook that so easily if you have a great personality, if you're, upping the energy level wherever you're at. It goes a long way. Yes, it's an advantage if you're in better shape from what I've seen. It can be an advantage. But there are some women that generally don't like a chiseled physique. They like, the dad bod. That's in right now. So, it can go both ways. Whatever the body type you have, just don't use that as your identifier. Don't let that be the thing that everybody knows you by. It should be the energy that you're injecting into the setting that you're at. In Vegas, alcohol is huge. You're gonna drink a lot while you're there. Unless you're a person that don't really drink. But while you're there, get tipsy, have a great time, don't get drunk. Especially if you become an obnoxious drunk or an emotional drunk. You will ruin your trip potentially if you are one of those people who, when they get drunk, gets very emotional, gets very angry, or you get very obnoxious. You could have had a really good connection with a woman, and then you start talking to her when you're obnoxious and drunk, and you completely turn her off. So always show that you have a level of control, no matter what the setting you're in, that you can have a good time, but not go too far over the edge. All right, so this next tip. While in Vegas, be a gentleman, don't be a white knight. There's a difference. It's perfectly fine if you're walking into a place and you want to open the door for a woman, that's fine. Don't be that guy that just sits at a pool staring at a woman. Like, that's not attractive. It's a turn off. It literally drains the energy from them. Like I said, you always want to be high intensity, more so than normal wherever you're from. You want to up the energy a couple notches in Vegas. And in the same way you're upping that energy, you do that and be a gentleman, but don't be one of those guys that's just drooling over the women. You can't have a good time on your own unless you're getting attention from them or anything like that. Be a gentleman. Don't white knight. Women are independent. They got this. If they need your help, they'll let you know. You can offer it, but just don't overdo it, especially in Vegas. All right, guys, so this was a pretty quick video just covering a couple things that you can use when Vegas does open back up and you're out there having a good time. Think about some of these things, practice them, and I guarantee it will help to make your interactions in Vegas much better. Help you to have a much better time while you're out there. If you have any tips for anybody that's watching the video, make sure to leave it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, like it, let me know so that I can make more of this type of content. I'm trying to figure out exactly which way I want to go with this channel, so any indication from you guys definitely helps out. I appreciate it. Have a good one. See you next time.